I've spent the last year searching for the one skill that made every billionaire successful. But after a year of searching, I still have not found my answer. So as a last-ditch effort, I'll be heading out into the wild to reflect on everything I've learned and look inward at my own issues to see if I can finally pinpoint the one thing that will catapult me to success. I really hope that out here I can find what I'm looking for. I gotta get rich quick. I mean, that's the typical saying, right? That doesn't actually hold any truth or value. But I need to set myself on the right path to make real money. So I gotta find the one thing. What is that one thing that separates the billionaires from everyone else? Gotta look internally. Find what it is inside me that's holding me back. What is that one thing that'll make it so I can achieve what I want? Is it Elon's relentless work ethic? Is it the rare lens that Steve Jobs looked at the world and how improvements needed to be made? Is it Warren Buffett's simplicity and eating the same goddamn thing every day? I don't know. All I know is there's only so much Palantir stock I can buy with my current salary. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. First thing I noticed out here. One, I wish I brought coffee. Some kind of caffeine. Second, it is nice to get away from the noise of people, cars, things, society. All I hear is birds, my footsteps, the occasional snake in the grass. No people, no nothing. Just my thoughts, my mission. Where the hell am I going? But I'm also realizing now, I already hear humans out here, which is horrible. I'm only about 30 minutes in. Chances are I bet you're a bit like me, and people aren't exactly your favorite thing. But then again, I'm reminded that I'm out here to find out what's going to get me away from everyday people. So maybe that's a resemblance of distraction, following the crowd, and what I need to get away from. And knowing that even when I'm trying to have solitude, clarify the mission, figure out the path, there's always distractions, there's always people, there's always noise. Noted. Try to get away from this quick, but at least I know there's 45 miles of trail here. Eventually, there'll be no one else left on the trail. I guarantee that. Alright. I think I just hit the last wave of people. And it got me thinking, right? Like this whole time I've been trying to get away from them because I'm trying to think, I'm trying to dive deep into myself. And it's common knowledge that the lonely chapter always leads to the growth phase. Or the lonely chapter is the growth phase, you might want to say. So I've been looking to get away. But I am kind of realizing that I've already been looking for this shit for a year. Maybe even 2, you might say. And I've been in my lonely chapter. I don't go out, I don't do things that, people do, humans do. I've had people call me an AI bot. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just slightly different. Or maybe my goal is slightly different. But maybe that means that I've already had my lonely chapter, and instead of wanting to just get away from every human, I have to acknowledge that some humans are aligned with my goal, my mission, my path. Right? Maybe that's resemblant of how few humans there are out here, but there's still some. Other people are on their lonely chapter too. Maybe you're that second sort of person, that second type of people. Well, if you are, seems like you might be right here on this path with me. I'm having distractions, thinking about the lack of water I have only a couple miles in, the wild turkeys that keep popping up in massive groups. But I think I'm going to find something out here. I think we might just find something out here. So I came out here because I wanted the solitude. Because all I wanted was to have just me and my thoughts, right? To have the clarity for the full picture of what my issue is, where my mission's going, and what I have to do. I'm realizing, yet again, probably the 14th realization of the day, that when you're left with just clarity of the entire picture, when you're looking at that one whole image, everything starts to seem more empty. Because you don't have that void filled with whatever usual satisfactions that most people have, right? Most people have Netflix, junk food, the typical shit that actually gives them some kind of little fulfillment in that void. But when you're in your lonely chapter and you're just focused on building, the sadness is deep because the lack of void being filled leaves a gap for fulfillment, which means that the only fulfillment you can have is progress. But in the lonely chapter, there's not much progress. It's just small acts day in and day out. They compound. They are technically progress, but you don't see the progress. So I won't lie, I got a little bit of sadness out here. But I think that just means I'm finding what I'm looking for. It doesn't feel good because I'm reminded I'm not where I want to be. I mean, that's okay though, right? I'm not necessarily supposed to get my goal right now. That's what I'm trying to find. I might be exactly where I'm supposed to be. Earlier, some of the people I saw were runners. I got a little bit insecure because, I mean, I run out here. I enjoy running, as many of you know. I've ran many marathons worth of miles out here. But I wasn't running today. I'm walking out as far as I can to find something. But I felt a sense of insecurity because people saw me walking, and it looks like laziness. Even though today is my rest day, let's be clear, my one rest day of the week. But I am the one that constantly tells you all to stop caring what people think. Yet I'm over here caring what people think. Which is just another distraction from the mission, right? Like, I'm allowing myself to be misguided by the views of other people, which I tell you guys not to do. Which does make me a bit of a hypocrite, but also a reminder that every video I make is just as much for me as it is for other people. Right? I need those reminders. I need someone to scream it at me. And not a lot of people will do that. Right? The internet is filled with satisfaction or some kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a pornographic, emblematic picture of lifestyles that most people won't obtain. But it's not including all the grit and grime that went into it, or the lack thereof that was just given to those people. But I like that grit and grime, right? Is I want to have the grit and grime placed in my face every day. When I'm in the gym, I almost want someone standing over my shoulder telling me how much of a bitch I am and how I need to do more. And in a way, that's what these videos are for me, is telling myself, ignore what others think. You are building yourself. Nothing outside of that frame matters. And also, I'm completely lost. So, yet another distraction. I'm getting a little frustrated. I've been out here for hours, and I expected to be out here all day, but I thought I would have had some progress right now. I've had realizations of relations to the solidarity out here, my path, but I have nothing clear, and I want that clarity. That's why I'm out here. Like, what can I find that's just going to be that shift? Like, I crave progress. I crave it. Every day, that's all I think about. I want to find that out here, but I keep getting distracted. My mind keeps venturing off. I'm thinking about how I need to pee. I want to find a dramatically nice pee spot. I don't know. It's like, how dumb is that? Well, I mean, life is filled with that. Dumb distractions. But getting a little angry. I think I might just need to find a spot. It's peaceful, quiet, serene, and just sit down. Map things out, contemplate, what am I going to do? How is this going to be fulfilled? Oh, more distractions. All right. I guess I'm not completely alone out here. Sorry, guys. That's what I'm saying, though. Distraction, distraction, distraction. Right? I came out here, but my mind's messing with me. And the world's still messing with me. And I know the world's supposed to be messing with me. I know my mind's a trap. But I gotta fucking escape that trap. How else am I gonna find progress? Right? And I need like progress, like maximalized, like private jet Rolls Royce lifestyle, just as an option if I want it, right? And it's like I shouldn't even be buying those things. I just want it as an option. So I just want maximum growth. So what is it? I gotta find a spot, pop a squat, and really think things over. Because I need change. Gotta figure it out. I found a large boulder in an open clearing and sat down to contemplate everything I had reflected on along this journey. As I sat there, I thought again about Elon's relentless work ethic, about Steve Jobs' angled look on the way things need to improve, and I thought about Warren Buffett's simplicity yet again. But when I thought more and more about it, I was reminded that I'm doing all of these things. I work every day. I try to look at things in a way that will constantly improve, that other people are not acknowledging. And I keep things simple to avoid overspending, to avoid losing out on growth. But if none of these things are leading me to getting to where I'm going, where I have to be, then what else do I have to do if I'm already working so hard? And at that moment, I had a sense of comfort because I saw on that rock was a bunch of etchings. And I was reminded that people had stood exactly where I was, time and time again, going through the same thing that I was experiencing. But then I had more reflection. I noticed that every single etching was no real words. They were just initials. And I thought about the selfishness inherently in all humans, which made me think more about how the selfishness can lead to small moments of distraction, which I had thought about this entire time, even though not pinpointing it directly. And I had to hold myself accountable. I too had fed into the distraction, whether it's a few minutes of scrolling, whether it's a night where I watch 40 minutes of TV. These constant little things are taking away from my mission. Little periods of noise. And that's when it hit me. I was reminded of an episode of Diary of a CEO where Kevin O'Leary had explained how Steve Jobs did not hear any noise. It was all signal. It was all his mission that he was focused on. And that's when I realized in full that I had known all along. The work ethic, the simplicity, the angle you look at things, it's all related to one thing: commitment to the mission, signal versus noise. So I quickly grabbed a rock, etched into the rock, ignored the noise, and I took off running. Because I had a mission to get to, and I had noise to run from. I was so eager to get back to society, to fully commit to my mission and ignore the noise. But at that moment, I knew that I fucked up. I was so excited about the mission that I face planted into the dirt. But it didn't matter, because yet again, that was just more noise. I dusted myself off and got straight back to the mission.